I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
Hi there, I'm Coach Margaret.
And today we're going to be talking to you about, should I stay or should I go?
Oh my.
Well, let's be honest here. If you're in a long-term relationship, there are going to be points in time where you feel like, I'm not sure if this is best for me. And a lot of you out there, even if you were the one being broken up with, if you think back, there were probably points where you
thought about it,
considered ending your relationship too. And now, because they broke up with you, you're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I miss them so much, I'll do everything to get them back. Completely understandable. But if you think about it, there were probably things about the relationship that you didn't like. Maybe there were habits that the person had that you didn't like, or they would do things to get on your nerves, or maybe they weren't driven with their career, or whatever it is. There could be a lot of different reasons where you considered other options or moving on.
Yep.
So today we're going to be talking about that. You know, if you should leave the relationship, what are the factors you want to look at, and, you know, should you go back to the person? Should you really fight for that old relationship?
Should you stay or should you go? It's very difficult. I mean, there are some obvious deal breakers, like, you know, and you don't have much choice, and that would be addiction, abuse, domestic violence of any kind, legal issues, psychological problems, if you're somebody who has a mental illness and won't take their medication, or partner being controlling. But there are people who stay in these relationships because they're not ready, not yet at a point where they can say, I deserve better. That's one of the reasons why we started today with self-esteem.
Yeah.
Because if you're struggling with that decision, you have to be able to say to yourself, is this what I deserve in life, or do I deserve better than this?
That's right.
Where are we here?
Yeah.
Okay?
And you should always consider that for yourself.
And you should always consider that. And twice this week I've had somebody say that sounds selfish, but it's a phrase we have to learn to say in order to take care of ourselves. What's in it for me? Okay?
Yep.
It's not selfish, it's healthy.
And sometimes selfish is healthy.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you have to safeguard your own well-being and your own self-esteem and all of that.
People always make selfishness seem like it's a negative thing. It's not.
Not always.
It is not.
No.
You have to protect yourself.
That's right.
You have to say no.
Yes, you do.
It's just the way it is. If you're not, you're going to be trying to please everybody other than yourself.
And many, many people have been programmed to that mentality.
A lot of guilt and manipulation from your parents, possibly?
Oh, yes, absolutely. That will do it. And people being, you know, raised to say that, you know, if you think highly of yourself, then you're conceited. No, you're not. You have healthy self-esteem.
Okay, yeah.
Or there are trust-related issues like cheating or lying about finances or, you know, all sorts of things like that. But usually it's not that clear-cut or easy, and it can take a long time to figure out what is the best thing to do. And what makes decision-making the hardest? I bet you've already guessed. Anxiety.
Yes, anxiety is a massive impact on our ability to connect.
Yes, it does.
On our issues with jealousy, fear, lashing out, all kinds of issues come from jealousy. Anxiety.
Anxiety. It is very difficult to make major decisions when you have a great deal of anxiety around them. And all breakups are terribly anxiety-provoking. So when you even start to look at a breakup, even if you're not happy, it's still scary. And that's normal.
Yeah.
Separation anxiety is a given that we all have throughout our lives, okay? We all had a major separation when we were born, and we've not been happy about it since, okay?
That's right.
The particular study I read that what I'm going to share with you came from was really very long, but it was interesting enough. I took time to kind of break it down. I thought it was really interesting. The particular study focused on people who have attachment-based struggles.
Attachment-based struggles.
Yeah, of avoidant, or anxious attachment. Those are two issues that we talk about frequently.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. In some ways, it appears that anxiety-based attachment, although in some ways it's higher functioning, is the more difficult because you can see both sides of the question. Whereas avoidant, if you're avoidant, that becomes harder. But here are the things that make people stay.
Okay.
One, you look at your investment. How long have you been together?
Which is why I say people value what they work for.
That's right.
And so if you're the one that always does all the work in the relationship and it's not
right.
the two of you, it's easy for them to walk away.
Right. Yep. If one of them has been along for the ride, where the other one's the breadwinner, and okay. It's never easy to leave, but the concept that most often tips the scales is the pursuit of other opportunities. In other words, when these researchers looked at it, what was the final straw, or among the final straws that made people leave? The pursuit of other opportunities. In other words, you felt in some way that this relationship was not going to give you the optimum opportunity.
And people do consider that.
Yes,
and that's what I tell you guys, you want to be your partner's best option.
Right.
And that's why we're always trying to teach you about personal growth, mental health, how to communicate better, because the more that you can present yourself and be a better partner, the less likely anybody else is going to come along and look like a better option.
Yes. So there's investment. Also, your social support network. What do my family and friends think about this partner? Do they think he or she is great? Or do they think they're terrible and I should have gotten rid of them yesterday?
Yeah, and believe me, they'll let you know, right?
Oh yes, they will let you know in no time at all. Who ever heard of a quiet social network? Yeah. So those are two things that can push you away. All right, responsiveness.
This is a big one.
These are the things that can make you want to stay. Those two were things that make you want to leave. This is what makes you want to stay. And this is the big one. Responsiveness. Emotional intimacy and validation were the two biggest issues that prompted people to want to stay. Emotional intimacy, what does that mean? That you can share absolutely everything with your partner. There's nothing that's off limits. There's nothing that you would feel embarrassed or uncomfortable about or be worried that they couldn't accept.
Yep.
Okay?
And being present with you.
And being present with you, yes. Refusing to communicate is not among the things that makes you want to stay.
And the thing is, when you're anxious, it keeps you from being present with somebody.
Yes, it does, because you're worried about either the past or the future. You're not in the present with them.
So you can't have a good time being present with them because you're so scared about something else going wrong.
That's right. Yep. It's hard to live in the present, and yet it's very, very important. All right. And validation, meaning that, you're going to convey to your partner that you are a good and worthwhile person. I also appreciate whatever you do around the house, whatever you do in your job, whatever you do with the children, etc. That you appreciate, you validate your partner's activities and worth. All right?
Yep.
Does your partner feel comfortable being close to you emotionally? And are they attuned to your feelings?
And that's one thing that you should reflect upon in your relationship or your past relationships. How responsive were you?
Yep.
Were you the kind of person that if your partner came home, they could open up? They didn't feel judged. They didn't feel like you were going to sit there and say, oh, you got to do this or you got to do that, and you were negative towards them. Because remember, if you're negative towards them, it's negating them.
Yep.
You're imposing yourself on them.
Yep. And
they don't feel safe because it really feels like you're threatening their being, their state of being, that you're threatening who they are. So if you aren't responsive and you aren't accepting and present with them, they're not going to feel safe with you.
Yeah. And people can feel lonely while they're in a relationship. That can happen.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that many times.
Yeah. If you don't feel like you can say something to your partner, you're going to be upset and you're going to be by yourself stewing about it and maybe talking to friends.
Yeah. So just think about, while you think about how important this is, think about how good it feels to hear somebody say to you, of course you feel this way in this situation. I think I would feel the same way. I would be angry and sad too. But just think of how good it feels to have somebody say, You know, I hear what you said.
Yeah.
And when you describe this situation, it sounds awful. I'd be upset too.
Yeah, and I talk a lot that in my video, The Reason Couples Argue, where I talk about mirroring, validating, and empathizing. Absolutely critical skill.
Yes.
And if you don't learn how to do this, you're going to have relationship problems forever.
Yes.
Right? Because if you can make your partner feel understood and you provide empathy for them, they're going to feel like, okay, I can talk to them. He gets it. She gets it.
Yep. Does your partner validate the reality and importance of your feelings and appreciate you for being the person you are? How come you're always whining every time you come home from work? And how come you never ever have a good day? And couldn't you just come in the door one time smiling? Okay? That clear?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. Self-expansion. Will being in this relationship bring further improvement of the self?
Yeah.
Was strongly seen as a reason to stay. The opposite, however, hindering self-improvement, was strongly seen as a reason to leave.
That's right.
So now we've seen two things, personal growth and what sounded more like opportunity growth. And can partners get spooked sometimes or scared if their partner does a whole lot of growth in either area? Either, you know, career-wise or personally. And sometimes partners can get scared that this means the person will pull away from them.
They'll be too good for me. Now they're going to leave me.
They'll be too good for me now, yeah. Right, now she's taking all these yoga classes and she's not going to want to spend time with me anymore. That sort of stuff.
Yep. And I did a video on this called Grow Together or Grow Apart.
Yes, good, yeah.
Where I talk about this. You have to grow with your partner.
Yes, you do.
And you want to grow them as a partner.
Yes, and you want them to grow at all, yeah. And you have to validate them every time they try that.
Yeah.
So this actually sounds quite hopeful for humanity. I mean, we don't want our growth stunted in either career terms or in personal terms. We want to be growing people. And not being growing people can force us to move on.
And some people that might be extremely anxious or controlling may say, no, I don't want you to go to college.
Right.
I don't want you to get a job.
I've heard that one so often. Yeah, you might meet other men there.
Yep.
Or other women.
And when you have that mentality, that person is like, well, maybe I should meet other men there.
Yeah,
maybe
right.
I don't want to be here.
Yeah. Next one is relationship expectations. If you have a sense of optimism about your future and what the future will bring, then, and if you see your partner as a good long-term prospect, you want to stay. But if you see a reason to leave, for example, you say, this person is never going to be able to handle it when we have children.
Oh, yeah.
Or this person might handle the little ones, but I don't see him or her ever being able to deal with adolescence. I mean, you look down the road and you look at those things. Or this person doesn't keep jobs real well, he doesn't like his job, but he won't go to school either. All those things that you look at.
And you probably haven't really done a good job of assessing yourself in that area.
Right.
You probably haven't even thought about that, but you have to.
Yeah, you have to.
What am I like in this relationship?
Yeah.
What was I like? Could she count on me if we had kids?
Right.
Or was I to keep a job, to help pay the bills? Did I do my fair share?
All those things you really have to look at. And you know, it makes it sound like you're buying a car, but you do have to look at all of those things. Is this person a good investment? Is this relationship a good investment?
I have a video called Treating Relationships Like Investments.
All right, well, let's repeat that one. I haven't heard that one. I'd like to hear it. I like that.
I'll have to go watch it,
Yeah,
Margaret.
but like I say, I find this hopeful because it talks to how much most people, not perfect people, want to grow.
Yeah.
And be healthy.
Grow together or grow apart. Yeah.
Yeah, grow together or grow apart. That's absolutely the way to put it.
Yep.
If you find yourself consciously or unconsciously thwarting your partner's growth, you can't have it.
Yeah. One thing that you want to consider is, should I stay or should I go? Your partner's going to think about those things too. They're thinking about you. Should I stay with you or should I go?
You've had a rough spot. If you've had a rough time over a period of time, death in the family, all of the things that can impact a couple from outside that aren't even generated from them. All kinds of things happen in this world.
But if you get stagnant and you don't work on the relationship,
Right.
I almost feel like a relationship is like a living
It
thing
really is. It's almost like a living thing.
that you have to take care of.
It grows and it flourishes, and yeah.
And so if you're not taking care of it, you're gonna, your partner's gonna look for other options. Just like you did when they were making you unhappy previously. Because I'm guessing almost everybody watching this video is thinking, yeah, you know what, there was a point where I wasn't happy in this relationship.
Sure, it's part of living.
Yeah.
And what you hope is some growth will come out of that.
Yeah.
If you can communicate.
So a lot to think about from this video.
Yes.
I think it was helpful.
I thought it was a cool study. I liked it. I hope you liked it.
If you did, make sure you put a like on that video.
Yes, that would help my self-esteem. That's the theme for the day.
Okay, so if you want to get my help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching, I do Skype coaching, and if you got to get with me right away, I do offer emergency Skype coaching. If you want to get Margaret's help,
I'm available now and look forward to talking to you.
just sign up where it says Margaret on my website, and you can schedule a Skype with her too. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
I'm Coach Margaret.
And we will talk with you soon.
Hi, I'm Coach Margaret, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist with 35 years experience. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. If you would like professional help with your situation, please contact us at askcraig.net.